And one, you know, I just, that one of the big things he is known for being miserable. I thought of him once, I heard about that.
They don't want to
Get out in the, you know, back in the building. Well, Nancy's volunteered to help with the,
I've been working on it locally, I'll leave the.
you can use it.
We are in the data system.
Yeah.
And, I'm sure then, yeah. My own collection, and I. Herschel, David.
Yeah, good, or end results the same.
I understand, because, I'm involved in the family center. We try to work with the kids getting. Volunteer.
Okay, good.
Sometimes I work on
One number, wait.
Is that EJ Davis?
I need to know a little bit more for it. Otherwise, we're speculating that everybody can have questions, but meanwhile, they can be avoided with a little more information.
Later in school.
Well, I didn't see you either.
I saw your car.
I got a note on the door, I got a note on the door, not today, not today.
You got all over the.
Way down to the.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yep. I'll be starting in about 4 minutes, Susan. Yep.
And they know. You know the guy makes money, that's what he's brought up, and I think that's how much.
It's 7 o'clock. The meeting of the Chester Historical Society will come to order now. Yeah. So we'll start now. It's 7 o'clock. A couple people I'd like to thank first is Susan Fairchild. Tonight is, this will be on SAPA TV, so we're on live TV. And Susan's doing that for us tonight, and Rachel's also helping her with that. So we're going to start off. Did everybody get the minutes and their emails? And we have had some glitches, so if you haven't, please see Rachel after the meeting if emails have changed or any of that. So with that, if there's no discussion or anything, I'd like to make a motion to accept the minutes.
So moved.
Second?
I sort of had a question.
Oh.
When I was reading them,
Okay.
about figuring out what you want to keep or whatever, and does it have any value? And that sort of struck me as like, does it have, you know, it's historical value, not money value? And I just wanted to clarify it.
Yeah, what Nancy's asking is a question that a lot of us are asking ourselves is, and I brought this up in last meeting, what you keep, what we don't keep, it's going to have to be a discussion between all of us, not just board members, of when we get ready to clean the Historical Society and when we get our volunteers together and start cleaning. And one of the items that come up was the safe that was there, you know, that maybe we start with that.
And the thing that was, did it have any value? I was thinking historical value or money value, were you talking about? You know, it just struck me as,
No, and that's a legitimate question, and I really don't have the answer. And I think at the end of the meeting, we're going to talk more about that.
is it just,
Yeah, it's a very good question, Nancy. So, do we have a second? Second? Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Tonight, the treasurer could not be here, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read last month's totals. I don't have Kenny's treasurer's report because he wasn't going to be here. So last month's treasury's report, and I don't know if it's changed because Ken's not here, the balance as of January 26, 2023 was $5,018.12. We had $140 worth of income, $82.48 worth of expenses. The balance in the general fund was $5,180.12. The balance in the fire station restoration was $2,904.28. And the balance of the event account was $580.89. So do I have I don't have a treasurer's report for this month, so we've already accepted that one, so we'll move on. Okay. So, yep.
In the past, we have had
A bucket.
a bucket.
And I've done it.
That's what built the event fund.
Yep.
So are we going to continue that?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And I think Rachel's going to write that down, and that's my fault. I dropped the ball on that again. Yep.
I'm not,
No, I know you're not, but I've been forgetting stuff lately.
you know that,
Yep.
I look at it, it's over $500.
Yep. And we need every cent. I was going to talk, before we get started on our slideshow, I was going to, the paperwork that you see scattered over the table was donated by Roy Spalding from Gassets. Here's a brochure on the USS Iowa. What he said is either anybody that comes to the meeting, if you like any of this, you can take it. What's left over will go to the Historical Society. So this stuff that you see spread out on the table was a donation from Roy Spalding and Gassets. The two photographs here that were donated are what I call Austin Store and Gassets. And And the great-great-great-grandson donated these to the Chester Historical Society and also sent a nice letter to go with it. So if anybody wants to read that after the meeting. And make sure I talk in the mic.
You know that Mary Adams was in Austin. You don't know that?
Oh, sure. Actually, here you are. Well, there. Well, you're more than welcome to look at these. Your old house here. There. Yep. The other thing that happened, yeah. The other thing that happened last week, I met with our town manager and I met with Meg Campbell. She's the head of the Preservation Trust of Vermont. And I spoke last meeting that I wanted to get the meeting room. I was going to do the plaster restoration myself, where we actually meet in the room. And I spoke a little too early. I was told I cannot do that, so it won't be me doing the plaster work. So I found out the channels that I do have to take if I want to complete the work. I have to take a plaster restoration class and get registered with the state. So there was some hoops to go through there. But our town manager and Megan, there seems to be some progress about some funding coming through, so it does look like things will start to happen there. I also spoke at last meeting about going to Green Mountain High School and talking to students. They do have me on the calendar, they just haven't told me the date. I was hoping it could be as early as tomorrow that I'm going to be speaking for volunteers from Green Mountain High School. So still waiting to hear back from them. So we didn't have a guest speaker for tonight, so we've got some photographs together that I'm going to show you and people from the audience and guests, and go down memory lane, what you remember about these photographs that we're going to go through. Okay. Rachel, start that. I thought this one would be appropriate because we recently lost this building to a fire. I don't know if anybody here tonight has a lot of history. For me, it was always the funeral home growing up. And,
Sad.
yeah, there's a sad story there. The building's 1880, or that's 1860. I thought it was 1880. The building says it's 1860. So if anybody has any thoughts or memories about that building they want to share,
I think a lot of us that were in town, our elders actually went through.
yes.
the funeral home.
Yep. You know, a lot of our parents, grandparents. Hold the mic? Okay. Yeah, I'm all tangled up. So. I didn't plan on all this, guys, tonight. But. Huh? Can't get it that far. Nope. So, okay, so the next one. Okay, so what do we have here?
That's a good one.
Well, I hope I'm right on this. If nobody speaks up, is that Erskine's grain store? And did they sell gas there at one time? I'm saying that's Erskine's, but
It is. They did sell things. And there's the railroad track.
yeah. Does that look right, Ron? Would you say that's Erskine's? Yeah,
I've never seen it before.
yeah. Well, I think that's what it is. Anybody else have any?
What is that monolith on the left?
I have no idea. So I could be wrong at this. I saw that, and that's what it looked like to me with the railroad tracks and you know how the road goes out to Erskine's. Yeah. But I could be wrong. But
Looks like a strong possibility.
Can't read what it says on top of that, can you?
Chester Grain Company, Rachel says.
That used to be, before it was Erskine's, Carson Register.
Okay.
It was Park and Pollard.
I can't get this mic over here.
Just get some extra.
I didn't plan on all this tonight. So we're saying that's Erskine's Grain Store, and we all grew up here and bought a lot of, I would have no idea what that could be there on the left, though. Okay, we'll try the next one. Any thoughts on this picture here? Any thoughts on this picture here?
Yeah, they're playing baseball. Or softball.
Copley Field, isn't it?
Yeah, Cobley Field, yeah. I had a little trouble with this picture. I knew it was Cobley Field, and I don't know if anybody's here tonight when the barn burnt down. Did the barn burn? The barn's not there anymore. So the way the guys were playing ball here, it looked like what I remember home plate would be back here facing out. And this looked like it was, the guys were, home plate was out here, so, or was that second base? But anyway, that is Cobley Field. And I'm not sure by the looks of the cars, that could be early 50s. Can you tell, Harry, by the car there? Yeah. Okay, we'll go to the next one. And this photo, probably a lot of folks have seen this one here, the Main Street to the Fullerton Inn, and yeah.
It's back a few more years.
Yeah. Yeah, the cars are parked in the wrong direction. Not sure why that is, but does anybody know the answer to that, why the cars would be parked going?
Probably didn't have any one-way signs up there.
That's
So
right.
they came in from any direction they wanted.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Still do that once in a while.
Yeah. And this photo is a pretty familiar building here in town.
That's a sad building now, too.
Yeah, it looks much different now, yep.
Yeah, I used to love to go in there when I was little, play with the nails and the,
Okay, when I was a kid, this, well, if I got, this would have been a garage when I was a kid, yeah, right? Mackey? Yeah. Mackey, yeah, Mackey's Body Shop. Anybody go in there as a child or have any memories they want to share about that building, or?
Well, we had a tractor that broke in half and took it down to him, and he pulled it together with a winch and welded it. And ran it for quite a few more years.
Yeah, that's a good story. Thank you, Doug.
I believe that the original light fixtures for the bridge that was out here is still in the basement of that building.
Okay,
When Filiberto had that building,
yeah,
I worked for him for a period of time. I couldn't resist poking around in
Yeah.
the basement.
yeah,
And it's laying, it's cast line and it's laying into the dirt. But it would be the type of light that would have been on the North Street Bridge
yeah,
before it was rebuilt.
yeah,
I worked for Wayne L. Mackey for senior year of high school, when he had the body shop there. Hasn't changed much.
Yeah.
Anybody driving by it today, if you look at the side that is facing Depot Street, if the sun is hitting it right, you can see under the current paint, which is well worn, you can see another name of another business there. I forget what it was now, but it's clearly visible if you take time to look for it.
yeah. Yeah, ironically today I was talking to, whoops, go ahead. You said something, Lee?
The name Davis on there? They could just barely see on there.
L.H. Jenkins Glenwood Ranges.
Yeah, you look up on
So they were selling ranges there. Ron, do you have any idea what year this photo would have been taken, roughly?
1885 to 1995, right in there.
Okay, very old, very
We
old.
have in the museum, it's rusted, but we have a wonderful tin sign of an old car, 1910 period, sold at this place. I can't remember the name of the car now off the top of my head, but it's a neat sign. If anybody hasn't seen it, they should see it.
Yeah.
The car dealership there one time.
So ironically, today I was on the phone with Tom Deliberto, who lived here for 5 or 6 years as a kid, and I didn't call him because of this photo, but I was talking to him today about some old Mustangs that he collects, and he was talking about growing up in this building, and I said we had a photo here tonight of it. So, okay, next. It's a great photograph, so. Yeah, Smitty's, yeah. And Bennett's there in the background.
Looks
Yeah.
better back then than it does now.
Ron, do we know which house would be, is the store older than Bennett's, or is Bennett's older than the store, or do we know that? No, okay.
You might get in touch with Doris Eddy.
Yeah,
Doris Eddy has some
I was curious.
photos of that house when it was in really good shape. And I believe she has some history that she could impart.
Yeah. Well, the house in the back, the house, well, the Bennett's house, the house, when I was born, that's the house I lived in. And we moved out of there, and I was born in 58, we moved out of, my oldest brother Jay had his heart operation. This is the home he came in, home to, we lived in Bennett's, and the Bennetts bought it in 1960. So, Gertrude, yeah.
Cleveland that ran that store, John, he was local constable sheriff, I mean, he was the call. Early 1900s, I forget the exact year now. While making an arrest, he had a heart attack and dropped dead.
Oh, gee.
Isn't that something? Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts on this photograph? Or? Okay, we'll go to the next one. I grabbed this one just because I liked it. Actually, I had Mylan Cook date this photograph to me. He said it was between 1962 and 1964, just by going by the vehicle that's parked there. And these are steam-powered vehicles that they must have had a show down the depot for steam-powered vehicles. And there's Jameson's Market again in the background. Yeah. If anybody was around in 62 to go to this event. Were you there, Doug? Yeah. Were you there at that event, or no?
I don't recall, but I could have been.
Yeah, okay.
It was like a 62 Chrysler probably out there, whatever.
Yeah, that's what Mylan was saying that also, and I had no idea, yeah. This took me a minute, but I mean, on the village stuff, I'm not real good, but do we have some thoughts on this house? And
Dave Walker's?
yes, it is, yeah. So it's the house Dave Walker's, directly across from Yosemite Fire Station. Yeah, very nice house, you know, nice lines. Yeah, beautiful barn, horse and buggy. Yeah. I have trouble dating photos. I usually ask Ron because I can look at a photo and maybe know, but I know it's early because of the horse and buggy, but yeah. Okay. We're going through them kind of quickly. This is a house I knew well, so I grabbed this one and it still looks the same today. And
Where's the house, Joe?
I think they call that Elm Street. That goes down to Benny's garage.
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, like Clark's house.
Yeah, Clyde Clark had this house, and then he had the plumbing shop across the road. And I know a little bit about this house because Clyde's a relative of mine, but the red house across the street was also Clyde's father, Frank Clark. So they actually had 4 houses in Chester Depot. So when he left the dungeon, he bought the red house that's across the road from this one, this house, and Clyde had his plumbing shop, and the house that Perry Foster was in were all Clark houses. I had to throw something about the Clarks in there. So, okay, next. Yeah. So we'll, oh, see, I didn't even know that. Okay.
There's a sign on the building, John. Oh, is that on where the garage was that blew up?
Yes. Yeah. This would have been, when I was a kid, this would have been Mark O'Neill. Had a service station there. This says, what's that say, Rachel? Riverside. So I got looking at this photograph because it's the only person I would have known in the class of 1921 would have been Army Severance. And so I'm thinking this is the Alumni Day Parade, and this would have been their 25th year out, possibly? Does this photo look like the 40s, Ron? No? Okay. But, well, the other thing about that, why I'm saying 25 years, because the alumni parades weren't called alumni parades till 1946. So, after World War II, the following year, in 1946, they started having the actual parade that was called the Alumni Day Parade. And so I tried to date this by Army being in the class of 21, that maybe this was their 25th anniversary, so.
Do you know any others in that car? Do you know Gladys Walker? I forget when she or she graduated.
I could look it up, but,
Being in the parades.
yeah.
We don't have time.
Well, some of these people in the car, though, look like they've been out of school more than 25 years. So that's confusing, too. The barn in the background to the right, I actually don't remember that, but it must have went up with the fire in '73. But is that building, would that have been next to Buddy Nato's? Yep. In the back?
Yeah, the alley up back, yeah.
Okay. I'm drawing a blank on remembering that building. Yeah.
27 or 28.
Okay. I really like this photograph. It's probably my favorite photograph out of the little collection that we have tonight. So we'll give you guys a few minutes to look at the barn and see if you recognize the barn.
All old barns look the same, but ours look about like that.
Yeah, true. This is in just outside of Chester Village. So this barn would be called the Jeffrey Barn. Yeah. And the fellow that's standing there, his name is Elmer Cummings. So he would have been the father to Ralph and Marvin Cummings. Yeah. I don't know if anybody played in the Jeffrey Barn as kids, but I don't know. Do you know, Rachel? Was it on that? No.
They all had names back then, I know that.
Yeah.
My dad had one of those, had names on them.
Yeah. Well, the Wrights had it when I was a kid, so I'd go up there and hang out. But okay. The reason I grabbed this photo is when these folks aren't in town, I watch their home for them, and they were going to be here tonight, but they chose to go to the Rowells Inn for dinner instead. So they're not here. Yeah. So.
Where's the place?
Oh, well, it's in Stone Village, and it's called the Granville Spalding House. And now I'm told that there was a store in this building. I'm not sure I'm accurate on that, but I've been told there was a store in this building. And this building was built in 1838. And what I recently found out about this house is, I gotta set this mic down. Well, the stones that go around the doorway, you'll see them, they'll go around that sunken doorway. There's 14 of them, and it's for the Vermont being the 14th state. So, an elderly woman told me that, and it's written up somewhere, this house, that's what them 14 stones stand for that are around that archway. So.
A nice feature.
It is. It's a lot of hidden passageways in there. Some friends of mine, John and Amber, an English couple, live there now. And Mike's cousin lives next door, Roger Westeen. And there's a door that you open up and you just think you're stepping into a closet. And then there's another door inside that you could open it up and you could hide in there. There's all kinds of neat little features in this house.
Is that the one that's supposedly connected to Pembroke Hazeman's house?
I'm told that. Do we know much about this, Ron?
I
About
don't seem to get much.
no.
You must tell about it.
Yep. Okay. Oh gosh, this is a good picture. Yep. So this is Bud Benson, says on the photograph. And it says the picture's taken in front of Ware's Mill. So Ware's Mill would have been, if you start down River Street, where Charlie Crouch lives, for people that, there was a mill there, and it was a quite sizable mill. So I don't know if this was taken on the River Street side or the Waldo Lane side, the other side of the road that goes down by Shirley Waldo's house. If anybody knows that, I'd like to know, if anybody knows. And I really don't know much about Ware's Mill. Yeah. It was a pretty sizable place.
The unusual thing about the picture, John, that's a walleye.
A what?
It's a walleye.
Oh, it is.
The Brockway Mill Gorge, walleyes and bass and other fish out of the Connecticut River can make it as far as the swimming hole in Brockway Mill. But they can't get up over the rapids to come up here. I remember talking about Bud about this walleye. He caught it in the Williams River, right near Ware's Mill, is where he caught that. So it was highly unusual.
Yeah.
I had seen one in the Elm Street branch a few years ago. I saw a walleye there, but very unusual that one could get a hold of the rapids there.
Yeah. And actually, I think it said that in the back of the photograph. What? Okay. Well, Sapa TV's telling us that they can't hear what the folks in the audience said. And what Ron was saying, this is a walleye, that it was actually caught in the Williams River. And he's got it on display here in front of the Ware's Mill. So, okay, but I would have loved to see, I'd like to look at some more photographs of this mill, because I grew up just up the street from here, and I really don't. I know there's a large stone wall by old Charlie Crouch's house and his son's house there, and it's probably part of this mill, the wall that's still there. But I don't have any information on that. Rachel, next. Oh, so there's two pieces that go to this. This is called Highlands Farm, Chester Depot, Vermont. Mrs. Charles Edwards, proprietor. And you put up the other one, Rachel. So several people have looked at this and read this. And I'm going to let you folks look at this and see if anybody here knows where this is. And we believe we figured it out. There was a lady in town that read this and told me where this was the other day. But I'll see if you guys can guess where this would have been in Chester. I'd never heard of it. Yeah. I actually went over to look at the place after it was identified. Any thoughts here?
I can't read it, so.
Oh, okay. I can't hardly read it either. Yeah. But, sorry about that, but what? So, actually, Rachel's mom, who grew up here in town, said this was where Jim Aspen's mother lived. So when you come down Green Mountain Turnpike and you turn to go to Springfield, that house that sets in the pines there was called Highland Farms. And I read that over, and I thought I was over towards Hyler's and over towards Heitman's and up past Ron's, and I was trying to figure out where this is. And so Jeannie's mom identified it for us the other day. Okay. This photograph, I'm hoping somebody can identify the location. What we have on the back is hemlock bark used for tanning furs. Of course, every time I seem to look at a photo, I'm studying it, trying to figure out if it's Popple Dungeon or not. But I don't know where it is. I've had people tell me it's Lover's Lane. By looking at, can anybody identify where this would be taken just by looking at the background? There's two houses in the picture. There's one behind this wagon, and then there's one with two chimneys in the back.
Those look like the horses in the other picture, where the horses were.
Actually, they do look a little bit like that. I don't know if that looks like Elmer or not, but. Now, as far as the guy in this picture, he looks a little bit like Henry Wilson's father, but I'm not sure of that either. But from some old photographs, it could pass for Harvey. But there's a couple photographs I'd really like to figure out who the guy is and where the photo was taken. So I guess we were done with that one. Nobody had any thoughts? Okay. This photo is my photo, and I donated it to the Historical Society. Again, I'm stumped. This photo came in a lot of some family pictures that I had on my mother's side, which would have been Todd Whitten, and they were either out of Smokeshare, Bailey's Mills, Wyman's Falls. But I have no idea where this is, and leave it up there for a minute. I've got to study this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buildings all connected with an outbuilding there on the left. The guy's standing in snow up to his waist. Can't be having too much of a good time.
Does that hill look familiar to anyone? That hill over there?
So the photographs that this was with was Smokeshare, Wyman's Falls, but that doesn't mean this picture was that area, because that really doesn't look like that area. Or? Mike? Yeah?
I can't figure it out.
No.
Can you tell from the dress of the man who's wearing about the time frame? Because after photographs were invented, obviously.
What's that?
Probably, if it's after photographs were invented, and then you think it's the 1880s or 1890s, I can look up online the 1880 census or the 1890 census. If you give me the last names again.
Okay.
After the meeting, your last names of your mother's family, and if I can match them to
Okay.
that area of town, it might be different.
Now, Ron can probably tell us roughly the year It is a postcard.
1907 on,
Okay,
look at the back.
that's right. That's right. I don't have it with me here tonight. I brought it back to the society. So Ron's thinking we're talking early 1900s. And yes, both the Todds and the Wittens, the Todds would have been. But is that one of those guys? I have no, it's not their house, that's for sure. So, yeah, I'll give you some names, Carla. Thanks for doing that. It's puzzled a few of us for quite a while. Okay. That was it? That's all I had for photos tonight. It looks like I probably should have brought a few more for the amount of time we've gone through those, but
Interesting to see.
why so many buildings are connected? There's 6 buildings there connected. Yeah.
If you lived in Snowshire, you probably would want them all connected.
Yeah.
It's snowy there.
Yeah.
And Wendy Brown said they didn't have
Yeah.
closed doors.
Okay.
Now, I brought in a diary I found in the fire. Thank my dad wrote.
Okay.
It started in January of 1909. And I'm wondering how he goes a lot he goes to Rutland quite often, up to Ludlow,
Yeah.
out to Weston, out to Londonderry. How in the world did he travel back then?
Yeah, 1909. How did he get to these places?
Got logs and they hauled them up to Weston, he said. And I mean, it sounds like he's got a 10-wheeler truck here he's using.
Yeah.
1909 he did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see that when we'll look at that at the end of the meeting here tonight. Yeah.
All right, you can make out, they did a pretty good job of writing. And he does mention that when my brother Curtis was born, March 28th, 1915, and my brother Clinton was born in 1916,
Jeez.
but that's the last year they did in here.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the diaries and the journals. Yeah, a lot of good information there. I can see by the time that I should have brought more photographs and people like this. You know, next month we probably have a guest speaker coming down from Rutland County to talk about cemeteries. And he's going to bring his wife along. And she's president of the Rutland Historical Society.
There are not a lot of brick homes in this area, and that looks like it's, at least the second part is a brick home. And the front of
It does.
looks like art.
And you're the first one that's brought that up, so that's interesting.
That's,
Yeah.
don't you think? So I'm wondering,
The second from this end?
yes.
Yeah, the second building in.
I would think that that looked more like a stone face than brick.
Does it look up from,
But that may be just from the snow.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I'll be glad when we figure this out, because I've had the photograph for quite a while, and nobody seems to know. I know they got a lot of snow if it's up to his waist. Yeah, and I thought somebody would recognize the lay of the land there, maybe get us on the right side of town so we could look it up. Yeah. So what we've been doing, we've had quite a crowd stay around after the meeting and visit, and Carla brought something with her tonight. I guess she was going to go through some stuff with showing Pete something on the computer.
Oh, yeah, I was going to show Pete. I think last time at the meeting, we had a presentation of the stones in Brookside Cemetery. And I had wondered out loud at the end of the meeting, was there some sort of register or a list or a book or something available at the town level to tell us who's buried there? And one of the reasons I asked was that the last time I was in the cemetery, the stones, many of them had deteriorated to the point where you can hardly read them. They're sinking down into the ground, so you can't read the bottoms of them anymore. And apparently there was no list. There was no listing available. And I went online and I found, of all things, Find a Grave. It's a website.
I've been on it.
They have Brookside Cemetery available, and they have images and information on 1,864 people that are buried there. And they've got the pictures of the tombstones, and then some of them even have biographies of them.
Well, that's a great resource.
I was going to show Peter that.
Okay. So, does any, before we wrap it up tonight, does anybody have any questions of me? Any questions, concerns for me, or things I could be doing? I got a list tonight from one of my members of some things that I can possibly do for speakers and to get our name out there more, so I'm going to read that later on. Thank you for bringing that in.
John, Peter reminded me too, last time at the meeting, he had a photocopied image, very early image of Chester, the town of Chester, that had been taken from the vantage point of High Street back down onto Main Street.
Yes.
And it had been found in a box in the attic, I guess, and it was stacked on top of other things. And unfortunately, this photocopy that Peter gave me shows that whatever it was stacked on led through to the picture. So it had the lovely picture of the little village, but it also had something or other sold here, kind of superimposed on it.
Okay.
So I posted it. There's this thing on the internet called Facebook, and there's a group for Chester called If You Were from Chester, Vermont. And so I copied this, I scanned it, and I posted it on that page. And a fellow named Andrew, I said, can anybody help us fix this picture? And a fellow named Andrew Barr, within minutes, bounced back the picture to me without the lettering.
Isn't that something?
Wow.
So I guess all you have to do is ask out there in the meta world.
Yeah, you're very good at that. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to bring up that email when Abigail Rose, that her grandfather had a beautiful sword that belonged to him. Edwin John Davis of Chester Depot. And what the family would like to do is get that returned back to the family. I don't know anything about this family.
Yeah. Yeah, so what Harry was saying, there's been a sword that these people have, and they'd like it to go back to some relatives of this family, and their last name is Davis. And so when we wrap it up here, Harry's got the email on him if anybody wants to read it, or if they have any thoughts about this sword that these people would like to get back to the owners, or somebody in their family. So, yeah. Okay. Anything else for me? If not, we're gonna wrap it up, and then we all hang around and visit for a bit and toss some ideas around. So, at this time, I'd like a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Okay. Meeting's closed.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, everybody.